Well, here's the thing. We're talking streaks and we're talking slumps and we're talking breaking slumps here. And the one person that's on a slump, and I shouldn't use air quotes because he's only got 1 goal in 16 games, is Andrew Mangiapane. But he's consistently been a plus 50, if not plus 60 on most nights % expected goals player. He's constantly creating more quality and more dangerous chances than players he plays against on a nightly basis. He just hasn't been able to fly in the back of the net.
And I would say
that'll come in spades.
He hasn't been able to create one of those how did he not score chances. Like Johnny Gaudreau is usually money for about 2-3 every game or two. Chances you're like, how did that not go in? Most of the time they go in because he's really, really good. But with Mangiapane, I think Daryl Sutter actually singled out Mangiapane for this. He said, all the Flames goal scorers are getting chances, maybe not Mangiapane. And I think I can kind of see what Daryl means because Mangiapane, he's in the mix, he's around things, but he hasn't really gotten to the high rent district as much as Toffoli, as much as Lindholm, as much. And, granted, some of that's the situations he's in because, that line is sort of more of a defensive oriented line, but Toffoli on that line is still getting those kind of chances. And, we're recording on Wednesday. So maybe by the time you're listening to this, we're talking about Andrew Mangiapane going off against Anaheim and this whole discussion will be moot. But I think that, for the Flames to get to where they want to go, Mangiapane is going to have to be, let's say, before Christmas Mangiapane and not post-Christmas Mangiapane.
See, I picked him up for I'm in the second round of my fantasy playoffs tonight. So I picked up Mange because it's a back-to-back. So one ad gets you 2 games. And I was like, he plays 15 minutes a night. He plays power play time, everything like that. And he's due. I agree. He's not been making his chances. He's been getting knocked off the puck a lot on his zone entries. He hasn't been able to find the good around the defenders as much and get low. He's been getting a lot pushed off about hash marks wise, but he's been turning around and still trying to find outlet passes. And when Toffoli's attacking the net aggressively from the one side, defensively, he can't be as close. And so him playing with another winger that scores like him, that's why I think he was way more successful with Coleman, because Coleman's the defensive-minded winger, and same with Backlund. And Mange can get to the net and be the guy at the net attacking more aggressively. When you have 2 of them on the same line, like Mange and Toffoli, only one of them can really be, because if they're both down there digging and aggressive, you're going to give up an odd man rush the other way. And I know the coach is going to absolutely hate it if you don't put it in and you give up the odd man rush. So Mange maybe playing a little bit better more defensive minded, with knowing that Toffoli's there, or seeing Toffoli. His on ice recognition is actually really fantastic, like a top 6 forward. He's a top 6 forward in the NHL. He is. Yeah. And I think it'll come. I think if they switch the lines back, and I know a bunch of people have been talking about this, and I do think they eventually go back to Mange, Backlund, Coleman, and then Yarncroke, Toffoli, Dubé as the third line. I do think that's how they eventually start the playoffs. And I think that bodes well to both Toffoli and Mangiapane, because they're both individual scorers, and they can be that guy around the crease to bang home rebounds and stuff like that. The other guys worry about the defense. I
think Mangiapane is really used to playing with Backlund and knows the ins and outs of Backlund's game. I still think he's figuring out Toffoli.
Yeah. Well, naturally so. They've only been 25, 30 games. You don't figure someone out right away. Like Toffoli's success was so high. It was 14 points in his first 15 games, and it trailed off. And no one's really mentioned that it's trailed off because he still occasionally he got the goal in Edmonton, right? But that
you just mentioned it. This counts.
I know I'm a dick sometimes, but I like to point it out. But I'm not like everyone's all concerned about sometimes like fans online and everything are concerned. I'm not. I really think they're doing the right things still. They have been getting outworked a bit, but that's good for them. It's good for their character. They said themselves, like, we're getting a little complacent at home. It's good time for a road trip. The road trip so far, they got a win in LA, which was a big one. They needed that one. Now clean up California, take care of Seattle, get home, be pumped,